Alrighty, and we are, I believe, live. Yep, there we go. Sweet. Everything's probably fine. Running last minute checks it takes effort. It takes time and effort. I'm tired, out of breath. So, we'll just hope it works. Okay, what a weird way to start off. Hello, I'm the Chronic Phoenix, and this is, this is a stream, mainly composed of game dev work, hopefully. There's only been 3 of them so far since I've been back, and, they've been a mixed bag, so we'll just keep going. But the reason that I am tired is that, lately I've been trying to, do a bit of self-rehab, if you will. As the name would suggest, and anyone who follows me on social media or has read my about will know, I am quite chronically ill, homebound, in fact. And, oh man, getting out of the house, it does not go well for me. Very taxing, and takes me out of the game for quite some time, so I really don't do it, nor do I do much physical activity around the house. I would love to. Used to be quite active. Well, not as a child, but in those in-between years between being a more or less shut-in, silent child who just worked on Legos and inventions and mad science stuff, and then, getting sick. In those in-between years, I was quite active, actually. But, times change. Since getting sick, however, it has been brutal trying to actually figure out a way to stay active. Now, for many of my conditions, one of the primary treatments is, in fact, exercise. The problem is that how they affect my body specifically, my specific brand, or maybe just how the illnesses interact with each other, the special ways because of all the different ones I have, that doesn't work for me at all. I have extreme exercise intolerance. Even small amounts of exercise can have pretty brutal repercussions. That is a bee crawling inside of the window. Windows are open today. It is a beautiful day, which I'm very thankful for, but whatever. But even little amounts of exercise can have supreme negative effects on my health. It can take me out for days, spike all my symptoms, cause them to flare up. Pain all over my body, nausea, headaches, lots of stuff. It's a mess. But lately I've been attempting, once again, a sort of new method of trying to at least get some level of activity in, keep up what I have, so that at least I don't lose that. I can't see myself really gaining much in the way of stamina or strength or whatever else, but I would like to not, lose what little I have left. That's the goal anyway, especially as I get older. Not that I'm old by any means, but still. When you live a lifestyle where you can do very little physically, any age, really, you start to lose stuff. And the older you get, the faster you lose it. So I'd like to hold on to as much of that as I can, for as long as I can. But it's only been a couple of days, so we'll see how this new rehab routine works out. I've tried many in the past, and some of them are incredibly promising for like 3 months, and then one day I just basically keel over and I'm just out of the runnings. Longest I was out of the running, longest known flare I think was like 6 months. So that was a time. But this is a stream whose intention is to do game dev stuff, not talk about my life. Although, huge part of it, so it's all it's all connected. There is nothing that chronic illness does not touch or influence in one's life, so it's a part of it. Makes everything very difficult, but it, provides unique insights that you simply can't have without those experiences, like any experiences really, without having them. Just provides potential insights anyway, not assured, but potential insights in different ways at looking at the world, which you would never get any other way. So, as much as illness is a curse, it doesn't just take. Anyway, so, theoretically, if I hit play right now, I will be able to show off what I was attempting to get working last stream, which was integrating the new twist functionality in the player shader for procedural animations throughout the game. So, I released a video on it a couple days back, and oh right, the game's still running in slow motion because I was, yeah. Let's see. Yep, there we go. Oh my gosh. It just looks so good. This is so much work coming together. Oh yeah, that's right. It's actually a different animation whether you're on the ground or in the air. This system is shockingly dynamic, I gotta say. Like, not to pat myself on the back or anything, but I am just so happy with how this shader came out. Now, how the shader looks, on the other hand, is... it is more questionable. But, what's going on with the camera? Weird stuff. Okay, let's see if I can fix that. Ooh, actually, maybe... might be able to fix it. The white balance is going all over the place. The camera resets itself. It doesn't save its settings at all, so I have to reset them every time. There we go. That should look better. Okay. So, yeah, this is basically what the horrific shader currently looks like. This part isn't even being used right now. Actually, that's a big thing that I need to work on. That's the sort of a tail or trailing system that dynamically stretches out the player as they are moving in any direction that they're moving. It's a... makes the whole thing just look squishier, dynamically. It's what I called it. It looks good. That's all I know. I have a decent understanding of how the vertex displacement works in shaders at this point, but a lot of what I'm doing is just messing around, experimenting until something looks good. Also, this thing is just a monster to control. And by monster, I mean for my shader. I can only imagine what some like AAA shaders look like. Although, they're probably much more intuitive to use as well. Now, theoretically, I could actually just link both of these up together, or link this in wherever, and it wouldn't have any impact. Well, I mean, it would have impact. The question is where to or how to structure the shader. So it has three distinct parts. Actually, I can just demonstrate this. The first part, well, not really first, but because they can be in any order. It's just they can't be in a dynamic order. It could be in a dynamic order if this was all in code and happening, if it was sort of actually happening to the vertices of the model. If I was actually manually moving the vertices through code, I could dynamically stack these effects on top of each other or rearrange them in any order I saw fit. But I am just doing it through a shader, so none of the changes are sort of actually happening to the vertices. It's just happening visually. So you see the change being applied, but the model itself isn't actually being stretched out or moved. And I'm not sure if I did it through code, if I was manually moving them, how it would work with animation, because animation is just doing the same thing, moving the vertices in a specific pattern. So because I'm not manually moving them and I'm moving them just visually through a shader, it works flawlessly with animation. But I'm not sure how that would work out. So that's why I've sort of avoided doing that, but I digress. If I go over to the cube, so yeah, there's a couple specific parts to the shader. There's the one that I've just shown off and am super hyped about, and that is the twist. So if I give it an origin of 0, 0, actually let's put it off -1. Well, let's do 1. So the point space I'm designating is sort of, or I'm designating a point in space around which this sort of squish or twist or whatever should function. That's how this whole shader works. All of it functions based off of points in space. And then the shader sort of handles all of the distances and stuff itself. Originally, I was doing some of the squishes and stuff using like a slider bar from 0 to 1 or -1 to 1. But then I had to handle all of that through the code, the tracking of distances and such, and I just figured it was easier to let the shader do it itself. Might not be as efficient or even a good practice, but it's easy. It's at least easier to control that way. So twist is the first one. So if we put the twist origin at 1, twist direction is 1, and no offset, and then just start adding in twists, and there we go. So as the player object moves past this point in space, it would be hard to, well, you can just about make it out, I think. 0 on the x-axis, 1 on the y-axis, 0 on the z-axis. You can see the twist automatically taking shape, and it is determined by how many rotations you want to have. Because it would look weird if the player just twisted like 180 and then stopped at the top, or, snap back. So every twist is 360 degrees. You could do half twists or something. I don't know in what situation that would be useful. Could do that, but it's irrelevant. So yeah, twist is one of the first ones, and you can put a twist offset on it. So if I put like a 1 offset on the x-axis, as the twist happens, all of the vertices are basically being shifted over 1 before the twist along this central axis occurs. So it means instead of just twisting upon itself like that because the axis is running straight through the object, it's offset. So all of the vertices are rotating around. So the farther that you push it offset from the center, the bigger the sort of spiral effect is, as you can sort of see here. And it gets wonky because there's only so many vertices on the object, so the tighter the twist and the more exaggerated, the sort of weirder the model is going to deform. To some extent, you could fix that by adding in more vertices, but really there's always going to be a limit, so you just have to sort of decide or sort of work out what the best look is based on achieving the twist that you want, but spacing it out far enough so that you so that the model looks good doing it, essentially. So that is the twist functionality working. Then if I just cancel that out. So that's one of the 3 things. Then the second thing is the squish. And if I just do that and that. So now, as the player moves past... Wait, I messed this up. Oh, right. Okay, there we go. So now, Yeah. I was worried I just messed it up again. Let me change the squish width to 1. There we go. Oh yeah, and you can define the width of the squish or the width of the twist as well, and it will do that one rotation over that distance. Now, squish basically was built for the sort of like a tunnel system. So you would have a gap that only a really flattened version of the player or only small things could get through, and then the player would be able to squish down through that gap or something like that. And that works just by defining how big of a squish you want, its position in world space, or how strong of a squish, and then how long as well. And as you can see, this is just happening over the course of one sort of one unit of space in Unity system, and it smooths in so that so it looks smooth and good. That's about it. So, but yeah, you can see that happening. That's the second function, and that one actually has to be reworked right now. Basically, what's happening is it's measuring the distance of each vertice along the specified axis, but it is just multiplying the offset of the sort of the squish power by that distance. So you can't get diagonal squishes, because if you were to have a diagonal squish that was squishing, I don't know, say you wanted to squish it 0.5, because you're measuring along a diagonal axis, that 0.5 would get split depending on the angle of that axis. But that would just mean that X and Y get squashed in the current system based on the sort of percentage value of it. And so rather than getting a diagonal squish, you just get a small little box. Working on that, but currently diagonal squishes are not a possibility. Not that that's a big deal, because there's not really any situation in which that would come up with how the game is designed, but still, I just want it to work. And then finally, this last one is hard to show off just from sort of without the whole movement in place and stuff, but the final one is called displacement. It needs a better name, but it works, and that is pretty simple. You just specify, I lied. It's clearly not simple. Did I not tie it? I thought I tied it. Oh no, I didn't tie it in. Let me fix that. I'll just temporarily add this in. Oh wait, I got it. Okay. So, if you do a displacement on the x-axis in the negative direction, which is that direction. Oh, wait. Okay, which is that direction. The player is sort of pushed away in a trailing off fashion. And what that allows is basically, as the player is moving around, as they're moving to the left or the right or something, their body sort of trails behind them a bit, and then the stronger the movement, the longer the trail, making it look more sort of dynamic in a soft body physics sort of way. And this one can actually go angular, and eventually that's what I want to do with the diagonal squish, because of how this system works and how that system works. It doesn't add up right now, but yeah, this is a very extreme example. It never gets quite to that point in the actual gameplay, but there it is. Actually, if I just tie that back in, it should just function. Oh, right, but it won't become... Oh, wait, no, that's happening in complete reverse. Weird. Okay, but you can actually see it in effect right now, even in slow motion. As the player is moving with gravity towards the ground, you can see that sort of front leading edge stretching out towards the ground. That's the displacement effect. You can also see it sort of gets distorted as it spins around. I could do a side-by-side comparison to show the differences, but that's essentially how this works. I think I'll just throw displacement onto the very end. It's just like a little addition and shouldn't really affect how things specifically look. If it doesn't work out, I can reorder it before twist or maybe after twist before squish. Currently, it's twist, squish, then displacement. Because I wanted to use some of the squish is power in after twisting, which you can actually see in this one. So as the player moves into the 360 spin on the ground, it sort of squishes. Actually, I can just slow it down. I don't know why I'm trying to talk through all of this. Yeah. So you could see it squash down, and then squash back up. I wanted to make use of that because it looks awesome, and yeah, that's why I made use of it. It's just, oh boy. Okay. That has been a lot of talking. Too much talking, in fact. Much too much talking. I don't know if you can hear my voice, but I'm starting to get hoarse already. It's only been less than 25 minutes. It's very sad. And if I go too much farther, this will hurt not only my throat, but also my body. So I'm going to continue trying to work on developing, but we'll see how it goes. I might cut this one early. We'll see. What I wanted to work, or what I am aiming to work on today, is basically the first sort of combat test. I want to create a sort of simple enemy that will have a basic attack pattern, and then I want to program in, oh gosh, I want to program in this move right here as a dodge mechanic. So when you do that, you would basically have iframe. So I want to build an iframe system, as well as some other features with hit detection and stuff. That's the idea for where I'm going with the project right now, anyway. So to do that, what I need is an animated object. And I'm going to try and put one together right here, right now. This should be interesting. mean, I should probably have like music or something playing, but I'm not set up for that, and I'm trying to conserve my voice. So it's and yes, this is a Buster Blade, yeah, more or less. Actually, let's just go for it. Why not? Got nothing to lose. Not really. Mm. Okay, and we're done. Oh, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous, really. My finest work. And now to animate it. Oops. Right, and then just one more of these. Alright, so we have the model, we have the armature set up, or the bones. Now all I need to do is assign the vertices to said bones so they know what they're controlling. I'm going to do that with just a couple vertex groups. Oh, right. Obviously. Needs the modifier. Now it should work. There we go. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Okay, now all I need is really just one simple animation. I could create more, but I'm not going to, at least not right now. At some point, this character would be walking around for testing out basic AI and stuff, but all I need right now is a attack animation. So I'm going to start. I don't like starting at frame 1. I don't know why it does this. And by the way, I have literally no idea what I'm doing. Like, I've done animation, some level of animation in the past, but not enough. Right, how do I reset? Ooh, that's not, ooh, no. What did I do? Oh, no, that is right. Okay. Oh, geez, I forgot how big that thing was. And then... Oh, it's beautiful. Ish. Let's time that up a bit. And a bit more. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, that's timed up too much. Hmm. Oh, interesting. Fascinating. Okay, what's going on? Oh, I see. Hmm. Why is the sword's fall happening so... Oh, right, I stretched it out dramatically. Ha ha. That's right. There we go. Yeah, I think that looks alright. I don't know why I spend time sort of embellishing upon it, but that's just the way I am. Okay. DLD, boo. Buster Blade. Cool. Cool. Ooh, I need to export that out, actually. Into a usable format, so I can actually do something with it. Yeah, it should be fine. Should be fine. That thing is large and in charge. Okay, let's slap some sort of material on here. Anything should be fine. I have a... There we go. I have a mat all prepared for this. Gosh, that model looks weird. Whatever. It'll be fine. Yeah, I really should have gone with a different shape. Looks fine from the side, but haha, boy. Okay. Alright, let's have this animation as sword swing. Sure, why not? Oh, ugh. We're really dancing around some innuendos, I think. Completely unintentional, but here we are. Okay, to get animation working on this thing, what I need is something called an animator. And an animation controller or something like that. Oh, I don't know why I don't have a folder for these. What are they called? Animator controllers. Well, look at that. Right on the money. Okay, then we just drag in the singular animation and it will automatically play at start because, well, will it on it? Yeah, it has to. That's right. Okay, we'll put a parameter in here, a trigger. So basically how you call animations with an animator, you just sort of contact the animator through code and then set values inside of it. Man, it is getting dark. Is it overcast? It would be. Anyway, you just set different values. You can set things like speed, or you can set sort of how far through an animation you want to be moving through, etc., etc. The most common thing to do is just to set a trigger, though. Basically, you just turn the trigger on, it automatically triggers itself off. It's like a switch, and it just activates an animation once, and then automatically deactivates itself. You can keep activating the trigger, and it will keep playing the animation, and so on and so forth. So this would be, we'll just call it attack, because sure. Then from any state, make a transition. We do not want exit time, and we only want it to play when attack is called. Perfect. Oh, what the... Oh, right. This is showing a weird transition thing. That's... I don't want that at all. That shouldn't do anything with exit time as it is, but who knows? I don't, and it's a problem, but here we are. Okay, then we go to that animator, we just set it, assign it to our character in the game, and now it can animate. All I need now is a script to control it. How do I want to trigger the attack? I guess on a timer. Just have it repeat every so often. So, yeah, we'll do that. What did I name this? Some sort of repetitious... Naming variables is very challenging. It doesn't seem like it should be, but then you go and try and name a bunch of variables in a script that are all really legible and unique without being just ridiculous to type in every time. And it's like, how do you capture that in as small a form as possible? How do you capture exactly what this is going to be? Frequency. There we go. Nailed it. Yeah, that's not long at all. Here we are. We'll define that as swings per second, I think. So, 1. Okay, and that should actually be all that is necessary to get this working. Well, in its incredibly rudimentary form. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Why is it... Oh, do I have to reset the trigger? I thought it reset on its own. Might not. Would have figured it would reset on its own. Let's see if that works. I've clearly messed something up here. What is... Oh, I did start time minus time.time. That means it was always in the negatives. We want it to be in the positives. Comment that bad boy out. Can't even complete its animation. There. Now it'll happen once every 5 seconds. Actually, swing frequency should just be... I'll leave it. It's fine. Put once every 2 seconds. Let's try that. Or half a swing every second, which would make, once every 2 seconds. Oh, looks good. I mean, it drawing the sword back in is weird. But I do like the animation. Might play it at double the speed, though. Let's try 1.5. It's weird that drawing the sword back in isn't instantaneous. Not sure why that is. Should be. Okay, anyway. Doesn't really matter. What matters is that Okay, so what I'm going to need is basically a collider that follows the sword. And then I'm sort of lost because there's just so many ways that I could do this as far as calculating hits on the player. And I'm not exactly sure how I want to do that. What I know is that I need the collider in order to detect where the sword is. Then I need to determine when that collider should sort of be active or be damaging things. And then I need to decide exactly how I want it to detect the collision with the player because I'm using the custom raycast system for all of this. So do I want the player to detect the damage and just do all the calculations itself? Do I want the enemy to detect from the blade what it is about to hit and do all the calculations based on that? I'm not sure is the problem. The benefits of doing it all on the player would be to make it, super easy when it comes to the actual enemy AI and stuff. I take away all those extra raycasts. Plus, the player is already sending out raycasts for its collision, so I would not need to introduce more raycasts. On the small scale, this isn't an issue introducing more, but, the less that you have, the more efficient the game is, the better it runs, etc., etc. So that is a consideration that I have to make. On the flip side, if I do it from the enemy, I have much easier access to information about the blade. The facing direction, exactly where on the blade is sort of hitting. And I would be sending out raycasts only from the front section of the blade. It gets trickier otherwise. I can still detect that stuff if I do it from the player. It's just more difficult. So I'm not quite sure what I want to do. And actually, both due to my voice and just everything else, I'm not going to get to that today, unfortunately. It seems these streams are going to be much more about me talking about things that I have worked on in between streams rather than actually working on them on stream, which is fine by me. I like talking. If that wasn't just powerfully apparent. But yeah, hope you found some of this interesting. I hope the long extended silences this time around weren't too weird or anything. And that's going to be all for today. Hopefully by the time I stream next, I'll have sort of a basic of this working. If you want to keep up with my progress, you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram. You'll see my progress on either of those places. And yeah, thanks for watching, and thank you to anyone who checks out the VOD. Great to have you. Till next time, I've been the Chronic Phoenix, and this has been something.